Hi guys, it's Hallie. Today is May 9th. So funny because the date is right on the side of my computer screen. I just couldn't figure out what month it was. But today is May 9th, 2012. So I wanted to tell you guys about my exciting week. May 2nd was the last time that you guys saw me post a video. For the most part, I posted a few in between. And as well as uploading some old videos that I've never seen before that I saw on my mom's hard drive. I might need to stop at some point for a very obvious reason, in case somebody wakes up. So, May 2nd was the day that I recorded the Zumba videos. They said that he was like really, really low and, try to dance and walk and do all kinds of stuff to get him out. And, I did a ton of Zumba. I started feeling like a little bit of cramping, so I stopped and started feeling like a lot of pressure down there. So I was like, okay, cool, maybe he's coming soon. But like I really didn't. I had a couple contractions when I was dancing, but nothing like too crazy, nothing consistent or anything like that. And I don't know. That night, I felt kind of funny, but nothing like too serious. And I was by myself too. Brandon wasn't with me. And I don't know, like, it was so funny because I had texted Brandon and I was like, hey, I know that Wednesday, which is exactly 1 week ago from today, he was going to go get a tattoo, and he's like, watch when I go get this tattoo, he's going to come. And I was like, no, that one weekend I really felt like he was coming, like, a couple days before that. But I don't know, like, as soon as I went past that and I just noticed that I'm having all these contractions and my cervix wasn't changing, it was really frustrating because, contractions aren't painful, but they're not painless either. The stronger contractions, they're, if anything, just very uncomfortable. Even the strongest ones I ever felt, like in the 70s or 80s, it's just very uncomfortable. And yeah, it makes you kind of make noises, not necessarily scream or yelp or anything like that, but it definitely just makes you very uncomfortable. So I just told him, I was like, don't worry. I was like, I don't think I'm going to have him anytime soon. You can do whatever you need to do and whatever. I didn't want to like tie him down or anything like that. And I said maybe, for Cinco de Mayo. I said if not, I'm going to try to get him to hold out for Mother's Day. And then if not, we can always have him on your birthday, which is his original due date. How funny is that his due date is his daddy's birthday? I thought it was the cutest thing in the whole world. Especially when we tried to get pregnant for like ever. Anyway, yeah, so when was it? He had said, whatever on text or whenever I had talked to him. And then I woke up in the middle of the night and I just didn't feel right. But I don't know, I guess it was just my hip pain acting up and my back was hurting, and I was like, I'm not having any contractions, so it's not labor. I'm just uncomfortable, and it's probably just like, the end of pregnancy. My body's like totally shutting down. It's like, screw this. So I just kind of marked it off or whatever, and I did wake up like a little wet, not to be nasty, but it wasn't like pee. It was just, stuff. And I wasn't sure if it was my water or what it was. But I went back to sleep anyway because I wasn't having any contractions. So that was at like 4 or something. And then I woke up because my mom went to school. So whenever she goes to school, I hear her leave, and then I go to the bathroom. It wakes me up. Then I go to the bathroom, etc. And I woke up. It was 7:50, I think it was. And it was only a couple hours later, and I just woke up and I started screaming. My right lower hip, the same hip that was giving me problems before, and the right lower side of my back. Oh my god, horrific pain, so bad. I tried to get myself to go to the bathroom. It took me a couple minutes to get there, and it's not even that far. And I came back and I'm like hardly able to walk, and I'm like, oh my god. And I just started texting Brandon, and at first I was texting him just to kind of get him to like calm me down and kind of like comfort me. And then I realized the pain wasn't going away and it was just getting worse. And I'm sitting there like, hey, like, you need to like text me ASAP. I was like, I think I need to go to labor and delivery. I was like, something isn't right. And then it hit me that I felt him moving the night before. But all morning, like since 4 a.m. and all that, usually I feel like kicking me when I'm sleeping every once in a while, and I'll wake up, but it doesn't like wake me out of my, what doesn't like hardcore wake me up, but it wakes me up out of my sleep a little bit. But like, I just feel him moving, and I didn't feel him move at all, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I've heard of people, carrying a baby for like 9 months, and then they have like a stillborn, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I feel so badly because I know people, even in my own family, that's happened to. And I'm just terrified. Like, it took me 8 years to get pregnant, like me and Brandon did in vitro before this. Didn't work. And, of course, it just took one magical evening of doing something we shouldn't have been doing. Just kidding. Everything happens for a reason. And yes, so I was just really worried, and I didn't want anything to happen to my baby, especially since I had like a pregnancy from hell, and I just wanted it to result in a baby. So I was really worried. I kept texting him, and I don't like calling people, and I don't even like texting, to be honest. But like I just started calling him, and I'm like, yo, like what? And like I didn't leave him any messages, but like I texted him, I must have called him like 5 times. I felt like a freaking psycho. And I don't know, like I was just crying hysterically, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I'm sitting there like on Facebook, and I'm like, yo, can anybody take me to labor and delivery? Nobody messaged me. And then I messaged on my baby board. I was like, hey, I explained what was going on, or I just said, oh my gosh, something, and I forget what I said, but I was like, obviously no one from the board can take me, but at least they can comfort me and calm me down. And I was hoping somebody would say something, but like nobody was saying anything. And I was like, well, maybe I'm dreaming, because no one's answering their phone, no one's texting me back. I have like 1,500 friends or 1,400 friends on Facebook, and not a single person has even said, hey, are you okay, or I can't take you, but is everything all right? And like even on the bump page, like no one said anything, and everybody always comments right away or says something, and I'm like, this has to be like a dream, like this isn't real. And I'm sitting there, and I like texted at first I called my midwives, because I was like, I can't take this anymore. And I think I was trying to wait until 8 o'clock. So I think I might have woke up at 6:50 actually, not 7:50. But I was trying to wait till 8 o'clock when they opened, because I didn't want to have to bother them with the answering service. But I think I made it to like 7:45, and then I was like, okay, I have to call. So I called, and they had the midwife called me back, and she said that she was only going to be there for 15 more minutes, but that she was going to call labor and delivery and let them know that I was coming in. And she's like, you really need to come in. It's better to be safe than sorry. She said, I know that you're tired of coming here, but at this point, you are pretty far along, and, you just need to make sure that everything is okay. And especially since I didn't feel him kick, I was really worried, and I'm so in love with this man that at that point I had never met. And I'm just like, if anything happens to my baby, oh my gosh, I would freak out. So I tried to get something in my system. Like I went downstairs, and I was like, okay, let me try to eat something. And I could not eat anything. And I was like, well, let me eat a Pop-Tart. And I'm like, no, like I wouldn't let myself eat. And then I'm like, well, how am I going to get to labor and delivery? And I kept texting Brandon, still no answer. And I'm like, oh my God, like, of course. And I'm like, you know what? Because I was saying before that, like, I didn't want him in the room when I delivered, because things between us, like, we're like cool peeps and stuff, but like he has like this double life thing, and like I hate to say it, and he hates when I say it, and I don't care, but like he has like this one life, and then he has like another life, and then he thinks it's okay to live like 2 completely different lives. And I'm like, you can't like go to one person and like make out with them and have sex with them and do this and that and tell them that you love them and all this shit, and then go with someone else and try to do the same thing, because that doesn't work with me. Like, I don't know. Anyway, and I'm just like, for the benefit of my son, I wanted things to work out before. But then when I realized that he hasn't changed, and he's not ever going to, and he still lies about like everything. I love him to death as a friend, and especially as his father, but it'll never work, and I won't even try. I don't want any part of that. And I keep telling him that all the time, like, we're not together, we never will be again. Like, I'm not interested. Like, just be there for your son, and that's it. So, like, we can be friends, we can hang out, we're on good terms for the most part. Except he's not very understanding when I'm hormonal, but whatever. Anyway, so I was saying before, because I was mad at him, I was like, well, I really don't want you in the labor and delivery room. I was like, I want to do this by myself. I've been alone this whole pregnancy. Why are you going to show up now? And it's not like he hasn't been around at all my whole pregnancy, but it's just been, like, so seldom that, like, you know what I mean? Like, he might have came by, like, once a week, or maybe, like, once every 2 weeks, and that's just not enough. Like, I understand that we're not together, but I'm still, at the same time, like, basically cooking your baby. Like, you could at least take care of me or make sure everything's okay. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He really is a great guy. He just has, like, his shit all twisted. Excuse my French. But regardless of that, it was just funny because I even asked him, like, a couple nights before, because there was, like, a lot of drama going on in his life and stuff, and I was like, you know what, I said, I'm not saying this to be mean or deny you of anything. I was like, but, you know, what if I just delivered, you know, by myself? I said, at this point, I've done so much by myself that I'm even thinking about not even allowing my own mother in there. Like, what if I just, you know, just me and Julius and the doctors and my midwife, like, you know, it's peaceful, it's calm, and it's very empowering as a woman to be able to do something that hard and that, like, I don't know, it's just empowering in general, like. And he, of course, was like, no, please don't deny me that as a father, like, let me be there, blah, blah, blah. So I'm sitting there crying because I'm trying to get a hold of him, and I really didn't think I was in labor. I thought that, like, something was wrong, or I had something pinched, or I didn't think, you know, whatever. And, not that I was in labor, but I didn't know what was going to happen when I got to the hospital. And I'm like, you know what, I'm like, I keep trying to text him, and I was like, and he can go through his phone and be mad at me all he wants, but if the baby's born today, like, he's gonna see in his phone that I attempted to do everything he asked. I called him, I texted him, I did not email him, but he never asked me to do that. But even without him asking, like, I was in so much pain, I'm not gonna sit there and go through my freaking inbox to email him. So, baby, sleeping. So, yeah, I don't know. I was just so mad at him, and then I was, like, sending him text messages. I was like, you know what? I forgot what I said, but it was something along the lines of, you know what, I hate you, don't ever talk to me ever again. Because, like, I am hormonal, and I'm in so much pain, and I felt, like, so helpless, like, what am I supposed to do, you know what I mean? And I don't know. And then I called one of my friends, David, and I asked him, like, you know, but he was sleeping, he lives all the way in Philly, and I'm like, you know, by the time you drive here, by the time you get dressed, even if you just throw something on, you can't even leave naked. Like, it's going to take you 45 minutes at least to get here, and then 45 minutes to get back to the hospital. And I'm like, I don't have that much time. Like, I knew in my heart and my mind that I did not have that much time. And I tried asking my brother, and he's like, well, I'm at work, I really can't leave. He's like, just keep trying to get a hold of Brandon. And I'm freaking out. Oh my god, I'm freaking out so bad. And then I was like, well, maybe I should take a Tylenol. And then I'm like, no, like, my body just knew something is not right. Like, we have to go. And then, you know, I was talking to David on the phone. He's like, well, if you can't get anyone to take you, let me know. And I remembered my friend Dana was like, hey, if you're ever in labor, you ever need a ride, just let me know. She's like, I know I have to work, but usually, you know, if I say, hey, my friend's in labor, they might let me go. So I asked her, but she wasn't able to. And then she was going to ask one of her friends. And I was like, you know what? I really can't wait any longer, because someone said they can go in, like, 25 minutes. And I'm like, I can't wait. Like, I knew in my heart and soul, my gut was telling me, we cannot wait, we have to go. So I somehow got myself to the car. I'm sitting there crying hysterically. Thank God all of the baby stuff was already in the car. You know, my hospital bags and everything. And my neighbor's outside, and I was going to ask her if she could take me, but she has a newborn and 2 little boys. And she looked like she was, like, racing around the car trying to get the car seat in, and she was obviously on her way somewhere. But I was trying not to make eye contact with her, but I'm crying so hard and so loud. Sorry, my nose itches. But I'm, like, crying so hard and so loud. And she, like, looked over at me, like really concerned. And I'm, like, I just tried to, like, not make eye contact, and I got in the car, and I just laid my head back, and I'm, like, screaming. Like, once I shut the door, I screamed, and I guess she could still hear me, even with my door shut, across the street. Because she looked over, and she was, like, really, like, scared. And I'm sure she knows now that I've had my baby. But, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. And then when I pulled out of my driveway, I felt her looking at me. And I'm like, oh, I'm not looking. Because what am I going to do, stop and cry even harder? Okay. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? So, yeah. So I had to drive myself to the hospital. craziness. I'm going to make a new video. I'm getting to the 15-minute mark. Thanks for watching, guys. Be right back.